Alright. On YouTube a couple of minutes early. Kill this volume. There we go. Now we can see what's going on. Hey, already got a couple of y'all in. What's up, dude? Still haven't hit the Facebook button yet. I always have to try to do YouTube first because it always glitches and I have to like make a mad dash to get it going again. I just about think I'm gonna end up going just to Facebook. It just gets a lot more people over there. Alright, let's push the button for Facebook. Boom, going live in 2, 1. Alright, I'm on Facebook now. Cool. Let me find my chats. Trying to do this with one mic tonight. So if you can't hear something real good, let me know. I can move the mic around. Had a request to do some acoustic stuff. So I pulled out the Martin and we'll do some acoustic stuff tonight. I love this guitar. This is a Martin 00018. This thing's pretty cool. I really liked the one I played at the store today too. That 0028. Real nice guitar. I'm just real partial to the sound of an 18. I guess it's mahogany. I want the Super 18 so bad I can't stand it. I'd do a video on it, but I don't know if a video can really do it complete justice to show you how it really sounds to stand in front of somebody playing that guitar. I'll do a video on it. Everybody needs to hear that guitar at least once. Speaking of acoustic guitars, I think acoustic shows coming up. Me and Sam have one. I want to say it's in June. I think it's in June. I'll have to look and see. But I think it's in June. I don't know why, but when I play acoustic guitar, I find myself wanting to finger pick more as opposed to, using a pick, which is probably why I'm a little bit better at the finger picking side of it, I think. Been trying to get more into the flat picking, trying to learn some Tony Rice, kind of jumping into the deep end of the pool there, but figure what the heck, not picking like, his live version of Freeborn Man from Merlefest, and I think it's 92. If you haven't seen that video, come over to Patreon on a live hang one night. We'll pull it up and watch it. It's thoroughly humbling. It's Tony Rice, Sam Bush playing mandolin, Jerry Douglas playing dobro, Bela Fleck on banjo, and Mark O'Connor playing fiddle. There's just no competing with that in my book. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it, pull it up. Just pull up Freeborn Man from, yeah, and it's you'll find yourself watching it at least once a week. Have the Batman koozie tonight. Worked out real well doing acoustic because my studio is freaking trashed right now. You can see, you know, cars sitting in chairs, bags leaning up, crap laying on my electric drums. Had a fill-in gig last weekend, and everything with my band always runs so smooth because we've done it so many times. So when I go play with a different band, I just, I'm used to mic cables being in the box. So I don't always, I don't always carry mic cables. Got there, it's like, shit, I don't have a mic cable. Luckily, they had plenty, and I only live 5 minutes away. I could have come home and gotten it, but I was still making a mad dash for extra guitar cables and just whatever I could think of, and just did not happen to be a mic cable, but had a good fill-in gig. A lot of songs that I have never played before, not once in my life. Not some of them, a couple of them were not songs I would ever choose to play, except in a situation like that. But for the most part, 98% of them I really enjoyed. But a couple of them, I mean, you're always going to have shows where you don't like some song you're doing. You've played it for 30 years, and you're like, do I really have to play this song again tonight? And you still have to try to do it good though. And you can make it fun. I just, change it up, do something different with it. But the filling gig was cool. We did Roxette. She's Got the Look. Never played that one. Caribbean Queen from Billy Ocean. Never played that one. Black Cat from Janet Jackson. That was a very cool song to play. Some ripping solo on that, if I'm not mistaken. That's Nuno Betancourt playing the solos on that on the record. What else did we do that was just really Chapel Roan? Not one of the songs I really dug very much, but the crowd did. So if the crowd likes it, I'm wrong. Let's see, we did Taylor Swift. Actually, a fairly cool song, a tune called Style. Had never heard it before I went to jam with them. But it was a pretty cool song. I'm not going to be bringing it into a cash crop practice, But, and cash crop will be at the Moose Lodge in Kingsport this Saturday night. A few changes up in the show. Not in terms of members or anything. Just a few songs we've worked in and changed up a little bit, so they should be fun. I don't know if any of you guys saw the video I did for Morels today. See, Sammy, you're on the ball, man, popping up those links, man. I may have to hire you. But anyway, I lose track so easy. Everybody that's on here right now knows why, I'm sure. But Batman drinks, that's what it is. But no, I did a video for Morels today on that 00028. If you hadn't seen it, go check it out. You can find it on my page. It's on Morels' page. It's on my TikTok. Yes, TikTok. But man, you get a lot of views on TikTok and a lot of responses. I put, videos up on Facebook and YouTube all the time, and I get responses and that, but I get, hundreds of responses on TikTok. I almost shut it down because I opened it up and it was up for like a week, and I had like Sam following me, and that was pretty much it. And then I picked up, a couple people I know that do TikTok. They're like, well, do this, put this hashtag, do this, do this, do that. And in like this last 6 days, I've picked up like 300 more followers on there, which in the TikTok world isn't shit. Um, but if I can do 300 every week, I ain't gonna count on that. But it's crazy how much time I spend now doing nothing but cross posting. It's nuts. Anyway, you didn't come here to listen to me bitch about having to post stuff. The stuff I did today on the video, I can't remember exactly how I did it because I kind of improvised it. It's off of something I've been working on for years, honestly. Just when I'm bored, I sit around and just goof off with this. It's kind of my warm up thing for acoustic guitar. But I'll play a somewhat rendition of it. Shoot. See, I messed it up. Can't remember how I did it. But let's do that again. And what that is, I'm just kind of, and like I said, I flubbed that up somewhere. But what I'm doing there is I've got two root notes that I'm always staying with, which is a G and an E. Hit that a little too hard. And then I'm doing basically double stomps. On the G, when I'm playing it, I'm double stomping the D and the G string. And I'm just I hit the G, and then I do that. And I always pull back off to that's how I'm doing the G. And I ripped that off 100%. Not the whole moving up to here, but maybe this won't shut me down. But I got that from the Peanuts theme. I sat around and learned, it's probably not exactly right, but I tried learning the Peanuts theme. And I'll just do it here for a minute. If it shuts me down, I'll go back on, whatever. They'll probably shut the video down later. But and I won't do this exactly right, but that kind of thing. And I took that and made it. So, it's taken a lick that you already, that's all every song is you heard a song and it inspired you to write another song. So that started out as the Peanuts. Like Zakk Wylde got Miracle Man from Foxy Lady. So, but that's the first part of it anyway. Then the next one, we keep that E going. We basically make the first part of a D. And I'm pulling those off too. So then that's what I'm playing there. And I'm coming back down. So that's the basic picking rhythm, and that's my thumb. And on this one, I actually do use my index and my, you can see it. I use these 3 fingers playing that song. Occasionally, I will use my ring finger when I'm finger picking acoustic. And it's really weird because when I just finger pick, that's it. Those are the 3 fingers I use. But if I have a pick, then it just feels natural to use these 2 fingers. And going and trying to just use my thumb, and it doesn't always translate. Photographs and memories, I have to go back and listen to that, make sure I'm not ripping that off, because that happens. I've come up with what I thought was a really killer riff, and I go for days, got it in my head, and I'm trying to play it, and then it dawns on me why I think it's such a killer riff. It's the B-side of an April Wine song or something that I've heard way down the line. But those notes that I'm playing there, when I started doing the picking, all I'm doing there is I'm basically using the same notes that I'm double stopping, but I'm adding in some of the G scale. That'd be some good practice, something to kind of take away. And I know I'm spastic as hell, and I jump from thing to thing. So I'll go back. It gives me an idea of what to make videos on later. I'll go back and watch this and pull out and make some videos. But your G scale, for playing this at least, keep in mind, the G is going to have to be made this way to be able to do those. So if you practice your G scale, and find it using, with that one, just staying planted on that G. Then when you're doing let me put this back down. You can just start throwing notes out of that G scale in there. And the same thing when I change to the E. Because we're basically in E minor, so it's the same notes that we're using with our G. And I can still, even with the E there, that note gives you a little tension, but and that's over what I would normally do with the G. So you can use, they're pretty much interchangeable, but a lot of it is just knowing your G scale, and you can use that same extra to help you with your flat picking, because a lot of bluegrass players do make their G like this. Messing with some of the Tony Rice stuff, very limited Tony Rice stuff, I find myself making the G like this or like that. It's however I can get to the lick that I have to do. But me and Sam have talked about playing Tony Rice stuff, and I think we both have the same problem. I'm not relaxed enough in my right hand, and I sat and watched several videos of Tony Rice last night when I was just chilling and trying to get tired enough to go to sleep. And I watched videos of me and my hand, and it still does it. I'm moving a lot, and Tony it's like it's just his finger and his thumb. A lot of times, I mean, he does move his whole hand some, but a lot of times it's that those. I don't know if you can see. You really can't see it because my mic's in the way. Hang on. He's doing like this, and I'm more doing that, and I can't get used to doing this because you can. That's mine, and his would be. I mean, I can't even hardly do it. Like I said, I'm still trying to figure it out. It's tough, um, but it gives me something to practice. Which I still like. I've mastered blues or rock or anything like that. And it's not that I'm just jumping to something else because I'm tired of the others. I've always said that bluegrass is kind of like heavy metal with no distortion. Because some of those licks, I mean, there's some Tony Rice licks that I can't pull off, and I can pull off some Randy Rhoads, some Eddie Van Halen stuff. Not all of it by any means, but there's some Tony Rice licks that just tie my brain in knots. Working on the intro to Cattle and the Cane. Not going to play it on here. I got it, that night I sat there and practiced and practiced and practiced when I did that one video. And I'm trying to get to the next, few parts of it. And boy, it's hard. Yeah, like I say, it's humbling, but it's so fun to attempt it. And when I did finally hit that lick on Cattle and the Cane, I was like, yes, hallelujah. But I'm still working on it. We might do that Sunday night. Actually, I may jump on Patreon tomorrow night and just I think I might do that. We'll jump on Patreon tomorrow night if anybody wants to come hang out, and we'll work on Cattle and the Cane. We'll start at the very beginning of it, and we'll just learn Cattle and the Cane together. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. Tony Rice version, because that's the one I'm working on. I think Aaron Jackson has a really good version of it. I'm sure Pat Flynn, Billy String, everybody's probably got a version of that song because I believe it's traditional and you don't have to pay royalties on it. So I can do pretty much a version of it and not worry about getting in trouble. So if anybody wants to hang out on Patreon tomorrow night, the only crappy part, yeah, David Allan Coe. Guess you know what song you're singing Saturday night, don't you? I don't think we should start with it. We got to let everybody get good and sauced, and then we'll do it. But yeah, it was sad about David Allan Coe. I woke up this morning. That was the first thing I saw, and I was like, oh man. Yesterday was Willie's birthday, 93 years old, and then today David Allan Coe dies. It's I mean, hell, all those guys. I mean, I remember I remember my dad playing the greatest country and western song ever written. In bands when I was 5, 6 years old. Yeah, I actually can remember that. Because I always hung out with, there was I don't guess any of y'all, if Ben was on here, he has been, or Kevin or anybody, but been to my parents' house. There was down at the bottom a little building, a little log cabin. They live in a 200-year-old log cabin. And there's a little building down from it, and we always, rumor was that it had been slave quarters. It wasn't. I did a bunch of research for my senior history project when I was at King College. Turned out it was a mill house, because I'm not going to go into the whole historic context of it for you, but it was a mill house. There were certain things that made it a mill house. And that's where his bands always practiced. And I would sit out on the front porch and listen to him practice and beat the crap out of a little harmony acoustic guitar. And that was pretty much my first introduction to live music. Not just live music, but a band, a bunch of guys getting together, jamming. And he had another group of guys that played bluegrass, and they hung out and played. And he used to take me to bluegrass festivals. Saw a lot, I wish I had known then what I know now, because I was, 5, 8 years old. And I remember Tony Rice, Doyle Lawson, The Seldom Seen, the Hot Mud Family, Emmylou Harris, some huge names. And at the time, I was 5 years old. I didn't know who they were. Now, I do remember telling, Tony, that guy playing guitar is awesome. And I think my granny might have been at that one, and she's like, "That's Tony Rice." But she's like, "He ain't no Ricky Skaggs though." My grandmother was absolutely in love with Ricky Skaggs. It was almost too much to bear, but Ricky Skaggs was her dude. Ricky Skaggs and whoever it was the guy that played for the Atlanta Braves. The years they were pretty good, but I don't remember. But back to playing guitar. Whew, I can't believe y'all hung out through all that shit. So maybe that's something to work on too. I'm gonna move this mic this way a little. I think it'll still pick up. Then you can actually see my picking hand too. Um, Something I've been doing to just be able to try to get that Tony Rice thing going. And I haven't really sat and studied what Billy does. Billy strings. For those, I'm sure anybody, if you say Billy and bluegrass, you know what I'm talking about. But what I'm doing is I'm just playing my G scale all the way down to. But I'm trying to get it faster and faster. And I keep this hand messes up this hand, if that makes any sense. And it may not, I don't know, and a lot of us learn to play our scale. The do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do thing. With the pauses on your one note and your octave note. And that's a habit that's really hard to break when you're practicing scales, because I played saxophone in the school band, and that's the way we had to do it. And so now when I'm trying to go 2 octaves, I'm trying to keep it a steady da 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 da. And I normally pull up GarageBand and just turn my metronome on, because I'm too cheap to buy a desktop metronome, because I've already got one on GarageBand. Why would I pay money for something that I have for free? If y'all got pictures of your acoustic guitars, put them up. Pop them up in the comments. It might take Sam all night to pop up all of his, so maybe just one. Well, I got you on there, Sam. Are you bringing your Taylor acoustic on Saturday night to the Moose? Because if so, there's a couple of songs I might actually play that on. I'm gonna. Oh crap! I said we were going to do Cattle in the Cane tomorrow night. That actually probably won't happen, because I had to juke all the settings on my Helix for that show the other night, and I had drop tuners to everything, so I had to delete some stuff. So I got to go through tomorrow night and rework my Helix and get some sounds going. So if y'all want to come over and watch me reprogram my Helix, I'll go live and do my Helix reprogramming tomorrow night. Madison was on the other night. He was the only one that was there, I think, for a minute. But I got the bright idea, I'm doing the live stream on Patreon. I'll just put the link out there on Facebook, which I've been doing that, and just putting the link in, and then just having a picture where you had to read the post to get the link. Well, the other night I was like, I'll just post the link, in a big Zoom. How when you post a link, it puts it in the big picture type thing. Some crazy fucking people showed up. I ended that sucker in about 4 minutes and reposted the link just to Patreon. And me and Madison hung out and we talked for a while and had a good time. So tomorrow night, if you're not doing anything, I'll probably be on there, possibly be on there programming my Helix, trying to come up with. Been wanting to tweak it anyway. I've just been really hesitant because I'm waiting on my Helix Stadium to come. So I think I'm just going to have to end up calling my Yamaha rep and just say, dude, if you don't get me a Helix, I'm going to buy a Fractal. And then I'm going to make a post about why I bought a Fractal. I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. But come on, man. Get me my Helix. I got, it's pretty much paid for at this point. I just need it, I've seen Sam's. I really dig it. I think it's going to be great to use for the live streams. Just the fact that I can dump songs into it and control them with my feet and not have to be up here doing this. And got a comment earlier on the post that I did. Gravy. Those of you who know Gravy at the casino, runs sound at the casino, Dennis Metaliano. He was like, hey, do some saxophone videos. And he kind of, spoiled the fun. But I was working on that. Started a set in here last night on GarageBand. And going to two birds, one stone kind of thing, because I had a lot of good response off of the mixing the natural minor harmonic and the natural minor and the minor harmonic scales. Whew, I can't even talk. So I came up with a chord progression, started recording it on GarageBand, and it'll be for guitar to show how to mix your natural minor and your minor harmonic. But that will be coming. I'm hoping to get my Helix programmed pretty quick tomorrow night. I've got most of my settings, my previous settings saved in HX Edit, so I pretty much just have to drag them back over. But there's a few tweaks I want to make. I hadn't been using my Dumble setting for a while. I think I'm going to pull my Dumble back in for a few songs. That's why I can't wait for the HX Edit. Right now I'm running 4 or 5 presets to get what I want, and with the HX Stadium or the Helix Stadium, I think I could do them all on 1, possibly 2. Depends on fill-in gigs. Caption is blocking my right hand. I didn't know there was a caption on there. That's interesting. I don't know if I can turn that off or not. That might have to be done. Let me see if I have a way to turn that off. Settings. Live tab, stream, viewer, interactivity. I do not see a place to turn captioning off. I will have to look into that before the next live stream, because I don't know how to turn that off. Or you know what I can do? Hang on. I'll raise my chair up a little bit. Raise the mic up a little bit. And maybe that'll keep the captioning at the bottom. But I'll go ahead and sneak peek it and show you what the progression is. I actually was using a capo on this. What did I do with my capo? I was recording bass last. Here we go. It's actually in an A minor. Then it goes to a D7. An E7. To a G sharp diminished. And back to the A minor. That E7 are so similar in tones. It's almost like a passing thing going to the G sharp diminished. It's almost like a walk from the. Let me just play through it one time. It's almost like a continuance of, because my A minor would be here. Just walking it backwards. But that's going to be the progression, and I'm going to do guitar stuff on it, showing you how to do mix your harmonic minor and your natural minor. User has to turn it off. Oh, okay. Somebody else is saying that. Okay. And that's weird. I'm seeing like people talking to each other. It isn't messing with me. But there's that. I'll show you one other cool thing that I saw today. I don't know if you guys follow this dude, but if you don't, I'm going to put his name in the chat. Let me see if it'll let me highlight him. Kevin. Nope, it doesn't. Go watch Kevin W. Go watch at Kevin. I think that's him, maybe. I can't tell. I will find it, though, and I'll send it out. But it's got him, Kevin Wilson. Plays in a gospel, I guess church, choir, gospel band, whatever you want to call it. Dude is he's bad. Jazzy, I mean, just crazy chord changes and mean mugs the whole time. He just looks like he's pissed off. And then you hear him talk, and he's just the sweetest sounding dude that you have ever heard in your life. But check him out, Kevin Wilson. He's really, really, really good. But I found this one trick. I'll show you this, and then we'll probably call it a night. But it's going between two chords. It's going between an A and a D. And you play an inversion of an A chord, then an inversion of a D chord, and then an A chord and a D. It's a 1-4, 1-4, 1-4, 1-4. If you're thinking in terms of the number system, and you're starting up high and you're going to walk it down low. So we're going to start our A right there. And I'm only playing the 3 strings. Then we're going to do our D here, but I'm barring it. So that's our first 2, and then our A again, which is basically like our bar chord, but we're just playing the bottom 3. So and then our D, and then we're going to play our A, but we're not going to play our root note. We're going to play those. And then for our D, we'll play a long form D. And then still working on trying to get it really smooth. Find different chords to do that with. That's a great, even if you just take your A chord, if you're playing in a band with 2 guitar players, and one guitar player is playing that A, play your A there, play your A there, Me and Sam are real good at doing that. Because, like I said, we actually listen to each other and don't try to like just stomp on each other. I mean, we've all seen the bands where the two guitar players don't really probably like each other. They're just trying to be better than the other one. And those bands break up pretty quick, or that's why you have bands with one guitar player. Because we're hard to get along with. And when you find somebody you can get along with, you know, stick with it. I've had a nice run. Me and Sam been playing together for a few years now, and then for years I had a dude named Chad Stevenson. I don't know if any of you guys in here right now ever got to meet Chad, but we played together for a good 10 years, at least. No, God. Yeah, probably 12 years before he passed away. He was the owner of the Les Paul. You all can't see right now. It's behind my head. You can see the bottom of it there. But he was the owner of my 78 Les Paul. I got it from him several months before he died. But so there is a few things for you guys to work on. Double stops. So I'm actually using my pick now. I wasn't even thinking and started doing it. Making your G with this finger and playing your scale. And just practice using that G scale to make up licks. And you'll probably start to hear, licks that, oh, wait a minute, I heard that in this song, that song, something to that effect. I just had a community standards thing jump up. I don't know why they said that. Community standards. Oh, it's just telling me I can't be mean on here. Okay. No biggie. I won't be mean, I promise. But tonight, I'm going to try to finish that backing track. Maybe try to get a couple of more reels popped up. Getting a lot of great response. It's fantastic. You guys are helping too. You're already doing it. Hitting the like button on my posts, sharing them. That's awesome. That really helps with the whole monetization end of it. I'm in line to be monetized. I was looking with the Meta thing, the Meta Business Suite, I guess it's called. You can track your views over time, and my average views, starting a month ago. Yeah, maybe a month ago. Month and a half, maybe 2 months. Well, actually a month ago. No, it would have been a month ago because I was getting about 4,000 views every 30 days before. And that was posting a sporadic video here, a sporadic video there. And just, your normal goofy posts that everybody posts. But started posting all the reels and the live videos and everything. And when I woke up this morning and checked it, over the last 30 days, it's up over 70,000 views in 30 days. So, and I've, still been slacking with it. Been wanting to put out way more than I have been, but it's time consuming. The cell phone videos are quick. The stuff at Morel's, I just sit down, turn on the cell phone, boom, go. But when I get here, I like to do a little more in-depth videos with the camera systems and all that stuff. And maybe I don't need to, but I kind of like doing those for YouTube and the Patreon. Got some cool stuff coming for the Patreon crowd. Like I said, I'm going to keep it free through May and get a bunch of stuff up there. And hopefully it'll be something you guys will, after the free thing is over, you won't care to pay like $3 a month for or something like that. That's the minimum that they say I can charge is $3. I was going to do $1. That was it. But if the minimum's $3, I'll do $3. It's less than half a Starbucks coffee. So, I'm going to goof this up, but since we're playing acoustic, I can't remember the whole song. I started messing with it again the other night. ADHD. You're playing Tony Rice, then all of a sudden you go, and then, oh, wait a minute, I did it. So, anyway, with that being said, let me see how much of this I can get through. And that's about as far as yeah, it's about as far as I remember that. But anyway, thank you guys for chilling out and hanging out with me tonight. And if you missed any part of it, it'll be posted. I think it stays posted for 30 days on Facebook. I do not archive them. I don't have the hard drive space. So go back. You got 30 days. Some of the cool stuff, if there was any, I'll go back and try to pull out a couple of little reels and post that. But if nothing changes, I will jump on Zoom tomorrow night for 40 minutes because that's all it lets me do right now without me paying $15 a month. Then it can be unlimited time. So I may just break down and do that. Who knows? We'll see. Actually, I'm talking to a couple of people about doing some interviews on the Patreon page. There'll be some, short versions of it on Facebook and YouTube, but a couple of cool people that I hope I can work it out with. Can't give any names yet. The whole business thing, you know how I can't name any names just because it might mess up the deal if it can even happen. So I'm not going to say anything yet, but maybe some very cool stuff coming on Patreon for you guys who will be following me on Patreon. Very cool stuff coming. So with that being said, you guys have a good night. My Batman koozie is near empty, which means trip to the kitchen, and then back in here to do some recording for the natural minor and harmonic minor video. So you guys have a good night. Sam, I will see you Saturday night at the Moose Lodge. Come see Cash Crop. We will have a good time. We always do. The Moose is kind of our home base. We will have fun. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out tonight, and I will probably see you on Patreon tomorrow night. So if you got your notifications on, just watch for a pop-up, and I'll be in here possibly creating sounds. If so, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good one.